Welcome to Test Troop, your go-to hub for professional knowledge sharing. In this video, we will explore what Jenkins is and provide a step-by-step guide to install Jenkins on Windows 11. Jenkins is an open source tool used for continuous integration and continuous delivery or deployment. In case if you want to understand the concept of CI/CD in detail, please check out my video by title CI/CD Explain a Structured Overview. As part of continuous integration, Jenkins automates the process of integrating your code from a multiple developer into a shared repository. It triggers the builds, it runs the test, ensure that the new code does not break the existing system. It's popular for its ability to detect the issues in the early stage of development lifecycle. This is how the Jenkins can be used as part of continuous integration. As part of continuous delivery, Jenkins can automate the process of preparing the code for release. This includes the packaging of your application, including the source binaries, the application configurations, and the dependencies, the versioning of the application, and deploying the applications into the non-production environment like test and staging. The actual deployment to the production often requires the manual approval in case of continuous delivery. As part of continuous deployment, Jenkins can fully automate the deployment process, pushing the changes to the production environment without any manual intervention. Jenkins basically achieves this by integrating with other deployment tools and cloud services and configuration management systems like Kubernetes, Dockers, the AWS cloud services, and Ansible. In summary, Jenkins plays an important role in continuous integration and continuous delivery and deployment. Let's install Jenkins on Windows 11 machine. Before we install Jenkins, let us review the preconditions and prerequisites required. For this, first let us visit the official website of Jenkins, which is www.jenkins.io, and under documentation, and you can find the installation steps. Jenkins supports installation on multiple platforms like Docker, Kubernetes, Linux, Mac, and Windows. Today we will focus on installing it on Windows. Here you can see the prerequisites from both from hardware and from the software side. And if you are installing the Jenkins as a standalone, then you need 1 GB of disk space and 256 MB of RAM. Okay. However, for a team setup with multiple users, the requirement increases to 4 GB of RAM and 50 GB of disk space. From the software prerequisite side, Jenkins needs Java to run. Okay. From this link, you can find out the supported version of the Java needed to run Jenkins. To work with Jenkins, you also need a compatible browser. So you can click the link here to check the browser compatibility. You can have the Google Chrome, Mozilla, Microsoft Edge. If you're using Mac, it also supports Apple Safari. So yeah, so generally I think all of you have these browsers. So I think browser compatibility is by default it will be met. So if you install Java and if you have a proper browser, then you will be able to work with Jenkins. You can go to Google and search for Java download. It will give you a list of links to from where you can download Java. But I would recommend you to download Java from Oracle website. Click here, and under here you can find Java JDK 23 is the latest one, but I would recommend you to install JDK 21 because it is the latest long-term support release. That means it is the stable version. So you can go and click JDK 21 and go to Windows, and from this you can download the exe, and once the exe is being downloaded, then you can double click on this exe and follow the step-by-step procedure to complete the installation. Once the installation is completed, you need to set the environment variable Java home. So you can go to start and type environment it will bring out the system properties dialog box, under which you have environment variable, and under the system variable you need to set Java home. Okay, this Java home needs to point to the path where the JDK is installed. In my case, this is a path where the JDK is being installed. So I will take this path and I will paste it here. Then give OK. Then now the environment variable is set. Now you will have to go to the command prompt, and in the command prompt you can check the version of the Java version. Yeah, you see this, I have installed Java 17 LTS version. Okay, similarly you should get, if you have installed Java 21, then you should get Java 21 LTS version. This means that your Java installation is successful. Now let us go and download the Java, and if you see the two types of releases that are supported, one is a stable LTS version, another one is a weekly release. You will always install from the stable version, and from here you can find the binaries. In our case, we need to install the Windows. We need to download the Windows version, right? So let's click here. Then the installation starts. Now the download is completed. I will try to install it by double clicking on this MSI file. Yeah, this brings up the setup wizard. Click on next and give the default path. If you want to change the path, you can give a different path, but I will keep it as a default path. Then it is asking for the credential. For a time being, I will not check this radio button. I will check run service as a local system. I will skip this. Later you can set up the username and password. Click on next. Now this will be using the port as 8080. If you can go to the documentation, then it says that you can basically access the Jenkins using the local host with the port 8080. By default it takes the port as 8080. What you have to do, test the port. If this port is available, then it gives the right button. Otherwise you can change the port of your interest. Then click on next. Then it automatically, as I told, from the software precondition, it needs a Java, right? And it automatically takes this the path of Java installation from the Java home variable. Now click on next. So it is asking for the installation type. So let us give all the features. Let us not change anything here. Now let us click on the install button. Now the installation is completed. Just click the finish button. Yeah. Now our Jenkins installation is completed. So now you can go and access the Jenkins using this particular URL. The Jenkins will be running on your local host. Jenkins is basically a server that is running on your local host at a port 8080. Let us open with the new tab. Now the installation is complete. For the first time, you need to provide a password, administrator password. This password is stored in this particular location. So it is under C program data, Jenkins, under Jenkins.Jenkins and secrets. Let us copy this and go to the folder. And here there is an initial admin password. Let us open this in a notepad, and this is a password. Let us take this password and put it here and then press continue. So by default it is asking us to install some of the plugins. So it is suggesting us to install the suggested plugins. or select a plugins to install. So we will select the default setting, that is install the suggested plugins. Click here to install that. This will take some time. By default it is installing the folder, timestampers, pipeline, git, LDAP, these kind of plugins. So let us give some time to complete the installation. The default plugins are installed. Now it is a time to add the username and password. So let us provide the username. I will give it as test troop. Password is, and you will have to confirm the password. And we will give the full name as again test troop, and email address then save and continue. Don't change anything here. Now just click save and finish. So Jenkins is ready. Click on start using Jenkins. The installation is completed now. This is how Jenkins dashboard looks like. The start page of Jenkins looks like. Anytime you can access Jenkins via localhost / 8080 port. So on the right hand side you can see the logged in user. Here we are logged in as a test troop. Test troop is the administrative username, right? So you can also configure the Jenkins using manage Jenkins. Under manage Jenkins you can see a lot of items that are available to configure Jenkins, like you can set up a system configuration, you can provide the tools here, configure the tools, you can add and remove the plugins, you can configure the agents or nodes to run your test, to perform the build, to run the test, and etc. And you can also provide the security here. You can provide the credentials, you can configure the users, the system values, etc. etc. Okay, this can be done using the manage Jenkins. My view shows all the jobs created by you to perform or to automate the CI/CD, like building the source code, running the test, packaging the applications, etc. So all these things we will try to understand in the upcoming tutorials, which includes like setting up an agent, creating a job, running your test, and things like that. That brings to the end of this video. In this tutorial we explored the fundamentals of Jenkins and provided a step-by-step guide how to install Jenkins on Windows 11. I hope you enjoyed learning with me. In case if you find this video useful, please support by subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching.